So I wanted to take a moment and show you all the new patterns with revision 2.1b on the super lights. So the super lights are divided into groups, and each group has multiple patterns up to 10. The first group is called the utility group, followed by the flags group, the holiday lights, the police lights, rainbow effects, solid colors, aircraft strobes, Morse code, and there's a new group called auto cycle, and I'll show you that in here in a minute. So I'm going to just go through each of the groups here with you and show you exactly what you get with the set of super LED lights. So this is the utility group, and the first pattern in the utility group is all leads off. So this is what you're seeing is all the LEDs are off. The second pattern in this group is the battery meter, which shows you the percentage of battery juice left. And it's divided into 4 sections, and the meter has a little red dot at the top up here. So green up here would be full power, 75%, 50%, 25%, and then dead. The next pattern is the test pattern that flashes when you first turn the unit on, which is red, green, blue. Let me slow it down here for you. It's red, green, blue, and white, just to show you that all the LEDs are functioning properly. And then the next pattern is a test pattern for the flash rate knob. And when you turn the knob, it actually just shows you visually that the knob is actually working, going from 0 to its full value. And then the next button is, of course, the color knob to let you test that, because sometimes you need to test these, make sure that everything's working. And this is the brightness knob. And then the last pattern in this group is, and this is a new pattern, it's the low battery indicator. But it serves 2 purposes. It shows you, like when your battery gets too low to display a pattern, it'll switch to this pattern to let you know that you just need to turn your LED lights off. That way you don't damage your battery. But also, if you have a unit that has the 3 amp power supply, when you turn your LEDs, certain patterns that draw too much juice, once it gets to the point where it's going to be drawing too much juice, the pattern will switch to this to let you know that you need to turn the brightness down a little bit. And then it goes back to all leads off. The next group is the flags group. So we push the group button. And so now we're in the flags. And it starts out with the American flag. Now, this is actually, here I'm going to reset it to the top. I'm holding the button down for 2 seconds. And you notice it beeped. So the first is the American flag for a typical round paramotor ring, which is, you know, like your air conception or gravity or any of those types of motors, or even parajet. So the flag is divided right down the center. And this pattern here, it's just a test pattern on the wall for me. So just imagine that that's a circle. But the next pattern within the flags group is another American flag, but this version of the flag is a little bit different. It displays on a flat top nicely because of the flat top and bottom part of it. And then from there, we go to the Mexican flag. So on Cinco de Mayo, you can show your support. Then we go to the French flag and the Canadian flag. And then this is a new addition to the group, and this is the Rebel flag. It's kind of hard to tell, but if there was a blue cross with the white border around it, that's where they would intersect the circle. And then I have 2 other new flags, the Spain flag and then the Portugal flag. And then it cycles back to the top. And of course, whenever you're in any group here, if you hold down the pattern button for 2 seconds, and then let go, it'll reset to the first pattern in the group. And that's the same for all pattern groups. So then the next group is holiday lights. And it starts with Christmas, it goes to Valentine's, St. Patrick's Day, Easter, Independence Day, Halloween, Thanksgiving, and then back to Christmas. And on these patterns, like say we're on St. Patrick's Day, the color knob actually adjusts how wide the bars are. See how they just got bigger? To a max. So that's the maximum size for this pattern here. But if we turn it down, we can get it down to, I think, 2 or 3. Yeah, it's 2. Get it down to 2, and then you can speed it up. And green pattern's not very, doesn't handle this speed very well because it all blends to white eventually. But if you actually lengthen the bar a little bit, then you can start picking up the color. And then you can speed it up more and lengthen the bar a little bit more. And you can do that for all of them. So if we go to, this one has 3 colors, like 4th of July. We can shrink the bar down all the way. And so, you know, it almost looks white going really fast. And if we speed it up, or not speed it up, but lengthen the bar, make it as long as possible, then you can see. But you can do that on all the patterns in here, even on the 4th of July lights. You can speed them up or slow it down. The next group is police lights. So I'm going to reset this to the top pattern. And the first one I call chase lights. Generally, you'd probably have it about that fast there. And again, on this pattern, you can actually adjust the length of the bar with the color knob. And all these settings are saved when you move off the pattern. But you have to move off of this pattern to another one to actually save the data. And the next one is I call segment flash. So these are segment lights that flash back and forth between blue and red, or some people call it cherries and berries. And then we move to the half ring flash, where it just flashes back and forth, red and blue. And then it goes to a triple flash, where it flashes red 3 times, then blue 3 times, then red 3 times, then blue 3 times. So it's like, and I saw that on some police cars that had pulled some poor saps over on the freeway once, and thought I would duplicate that. And then of course back to the top, which is the police chase lights. The next group are rainbow effects. So everything in this group has to do with rainbow colors. And again, I'm going to reset to the top of the group here. So the first pattern is called cycle, and it cycles through the rainbow, but it does so by gradually changing the color of the LEDs going around the ring. So you get this kind of rainbow-y effect. And again, with this one, you can speed up or slow down how fast the rainbow goes. And you can also change the brightness. Make it really bright. So this is what I call the rainbow cycle. The next one is a ring cycle. So this is where all the LEDs change in unison. So if we speed it up so you can see it better. See, they all cycle through the colors. This is what you would traditionally get on a cheap set of, you know, $30 lights that you buy for under the counter. And then it goes to chase. So this is, again, it's cycling through all the colors, you know, individually as it's going around pixel-wise, instead of all of them at once. So if we speed it up, well, we'll slow this one down so you can see. It's kind of hard to tell because the transition is just so subtle. And then we move to chase, to the ring chase. So this is the same pattern again, but again, all the LEDs are changing in unison instead of them changing individually. And then the next pattern is a new one. And this is what I call the double Night Rider. Oh, here, I'll speed it up. But so this cycles through all the colors of the rainbow, and it uses the inverse color for the little star that's shooting back and forth. So it computes what the inverse color is, or I guess a complementary color or something. It would be the color on the exact opposite side of the color wheel, or it should be pretty close. And then you can go from the double to a quad. And on this one, I have another video that shows you how to set this up on your paramotor. If you set it up correctly, they'll bounce back and forth exactly at the quarter positions at the 12, 3, 6, and 9 o'clock. If you're off by a little bit, then the bottom ones will generally bounce back and forth a little bit faster or slower. And then once we get off of this pattern, we get back to the top one, which is the rainbow cycle. The next group of colors is called the solid colors. These are interesting. I like these. So I'm going to switch to the group and then reset to the top. And then I'm going to sneeze. Sorry. Hope I didn't blow your eardrums out. So the first one's called random pixels, and it's basically just lighting random pixels on the ring. And on this one, you can change the color using the color wheel or the color knob to whatever you like. And again, it stores whatever color you've picked. And then again, you can speed this one up or slow it down. Speed it up really fast or slow it down. And then we go to random flicker. This one's a little bit annoying. So you can change the color here, and it just randomly flickers the LEDs at different brightnesses, which creates this kind of weird effect. And you can speed up the flicker or slow it way down. It's kind of hard to tell, but next pattern is a new one I call color sparkle. It can almost fall into the Christmas lights section, but thought I would leave it here. But you can speed this one up too. But it just randomly picks a color and a pixel and just drops it wherever on the ring. So you get this cool little sparkly effect. And the next one is what I call Night Rider. This is the traditional Night Rider one. And this is just going all the way around the ring clockwise. And again, on this one, you can change the color to whatever you want, and it'll save it, whatever your favorite color is. If there's blue, and you can slow it down, speed it up, slow it down. And then from Night Rider, we go to the double Night Rider. And this one, I went ahead and included the background with the complementary color, so you can certainly change these colors to whatever you want. You know, whatever effect looks nice, if you like purple and yellow. And then the pattern after this is the quad Night Rider. And you can change the color on this one too. Speed it up. And then we have flashing and solid color is the next pattern. So this allows you to just light your ring any color that you want. You know, that you just have to turn the color knob to adjust it to whatever color, like purple, red, you know, magenta, whatever color you want. And then you can also set the flash rate. You can strobe it if you want to strobe it. If you turn the flash rate all the way up, it'll just go solid once you get high enough. But you can have it go down and just flash really slow, flash really fast, or even go solid. Then the next pattern, and this is the last one in the solid colors group, is just white. And you see it's telling me that I'm drawing too much current for my power supply, so I have to let the brightness down a little bit. There it goes. And if I put it on solid, so this allows you to get white, because if you're using the knob to select a color, you can't actually get white out of it, because white is not a color on the rainbow. It's all the colors. So this is just to let you light your ring white if you want. And again, you can flash it or go solid. And then if I can adjust the brightness, that's almost 3 amps. That's all my little power supply over here can handle. So those are all the solid colors. And I'll go back to the top. And I'll go to green. I like green. Where's green? Where'd you go, green? There you are. The next group of patterns is called the aircraft strobes. And so if you get a double set where the lights are facing forward and backwards, you can actually use these as your aircraft strobe. So you don't have to blow another $150 or $300 on a strobe. So the first pattern in this group is a double flash, which is a standard traditional aircraft strobe. It flashes once every 20 milliseconds with a 1 second between flashes. Oh, here's a double one. Sorry, I was on the triple. It's hard to tell the difference. So that's a double. And then a triple. And then this is a navigation strobe. So it has the red and the green on the correct side, and then it strobes on the top and bottom. The next group is called the Morse code group. And the first pattern in this, I'm going to reset because I'm not on the first pattern. So there's the first pattern. And that's actually SOS. Hopefully you never have to use this pattern. But it's dee dee da 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 dee dee dee. And the second pattern in here, and actually it turns off an LED in the corner up here to let you know what pattern you're on. So 1 LED off means SOS. 2 off is the second pattern, which it's actually now just spitting out in Morse code the words super lights. So if there's any old hams out there, they'd be able to read this. And then the last pattern in this group, which is number 3. Again, you can tell because there's 3 leads off. And this actually flashes the firmware version. And in this case, it's flashing 2.1b. And on the Morse too, you can change the color to whatever you want. You know, green, whatever. And then the last group, which is a new group, is called auto cycle. So what this group does is it will cycle through the last selected patterns for each of the following groups using the saved settings for each pattern. And it displays each pattern for 6 seconds and then moves on to the next one. So it starts with flags, then goes to holiday lights, then police lights, then rainbow effects, and then solid colors. And it just continuously cycles through those 5 groups, whichever the top one was that you had last selected, and it'll just continuously cycle through there. So we could go back and let's go to the flags group and we'll select Portugal flag, and we'll go to police lights, or no, holiday lights, and we'll select 4th of July. We'll slow it down. And the police lights, we'll select the double flash berries and cherries. Rainbow effects, we'll actually select the quad one. And solid colors, we'll do the sparkle effect. And then let's go to the last group. And then it should cycle through those last 5 that we just picked. So there's the police ones. There's the rainbow. Then the solid colors, it should be the sparkle. And again, it's 6 seconds on each one. And I just picked that arbitrarily because that seemed to be quick enough and slow enough. And there's the flags. And then it goes back to holiday lights. And it just keeps cycling around. So that's it. That's all the patterns available on the Super LED lights. And hopefully we'll see you at the next fly-in. I'm going to be going to the Indy Air Hogs here next week, and I will be bringing a bunch of sets for sale. So if you want a set, be sure to bring your PayPal or some money, and I'll be more than happy to install them for you. Anyways, thanks for watching, and peace out.